The intent was to set a bar incredibly high for ourselves when it comes to transparency and when it comes to giving our customers, our end customer, the security that the money is there. You know, there's no stablecoin on Cardano other than us who can say that.
Why should we want a USDM? You know, why not USDA or USDB or USD whatever? Why is USDM different? Aside from the fact that you are doing it the right way, regulatorily speaking.
I think the linchpin is that every transaction touches base with an oracle that feeds directly into our bank accounts. You can be crystal clear certain that that money is there, not on a quarterly basis, not on a monthly basis, but on a daily basis. And it's, you know, the intent was to set a bar incredibly high for ourselves when it comes to transparency and when it comes to giving our customers, our end customer, the security that the money is there. You know, there's no stablecoin on Cardano other than us who can say that. You can't even check. Can you check USDA's funds? Can, you know, Jed, the Algorithmics is a different scenario altogether. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But even USDC, it's the only one that comes close to being as transparent as us. And most people think that, you know, a one sheet of paper audit once a month that says they have the funds they say they have. It doesn't even really specify, you know, what funds they're in, what the makeup is, how much it is, you know. So I think for that reason, our product is superior. And you could only find it on Cardano right now. And yeah.
And Dan, I think to add to that, oh, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, and maybe you can cover the you know, James, I'll interrupt you there, but I really wanted you to also kind of touch on well, first, I mean, clawbacks, okay? I mean, the name kind of explains it sort of, but can you really kind of explain why? Because some people say, well, you know, it's okay because, you know, if you got some criminals doing criminal stuff, you can decriminal the criminal stuff and, you know, you can claw it back and it's okay. Explain to us, what are they? And just kind of, you know, why we don't want them?
I think clawbacks, obviously. Go ahead, Julian, if you have something to comment on there.
No, we're talking specifically clawbacks on chain, right? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim, if you want to address it.
So I think ultimately, I love the idea of being a free range crypto. So you think about it like you know, you get to be able to cruise around, do whatever you want, wherever you want within the ecosystem. USDM has that ability and will always have that ability. The one thing that can happen though with clawbacks is that when you enter into our app, we do have KYC and AML that we have to follow. I have my compliance officers words in my head with Edward, and it's important to remember that you know, we need to follow all those, right? So KYC, know your customer, and AML, anti-money laundering, ensure that, you know, anybody on the OFAC list, if they're put onto that list, then has to, you know, if it is warranted, then that can be frozen. It can only be frozen at the app, entry points, exit points. That's the only time. Within the ecosystem itself, currently it cannot. Now, however, if you're in a smart contract, let's say over on Liquid or some other thing, and they start having to go through compliance and work with all those people and identify their customers, then from there, they can also do it there while sitting within that smart contract. So I think it's important to remember as an end user to know your rights, know what's going on, ensure that you are following the rules, you know, that normally most people follow. And then from there, enjoying our ecosystem, being able to garner yields, leveraging, and all the things that go along with that. But yeah, you're right, Dan. It's important to discern between what happened with the Polygon bridge hack with USDC And for anybody that doesn't know, I think that was like $620 million, I believe, that the guy had hacked through the Bitcoin. And during that time, live and on chain, people were sending him information as to what was going on, and then he put a lot of it into USDC. It was then immediately frozen. And a lot of people were shocked at that time that that happened because they didn't realize that USDC is on a smart contract based blockchain. And that smart contract also included within the contract the ability to be able to freeze that asset at any time by USDC representatives. And then from there, he lost all that. He then quoted later that he was a gray hat. He was just checking or testing, which was funny. And I think he actually got hired by one of the governmental agencies, to be honest, I believe. We're not really sure on that now, but yeah, so this is something that just differentiates us from any other stablecoins simply because, we're living in Cardano. On the algorithmic side, Jed, for example, it's the reason we started the entire thing. It's the reason Matt started this entire thing, was he just put out a statement, in essence, almost like a blog post, having to do with the capital inefficiency that Jed currently has. You have to 4x your backing in order to make sure that it always will stay within certain realms in order to be able to be used. And then if it doesn't, it then stops working altogether. I'm not sure that's something for me personally that I would be interested in using, simply because then that takes away my ability to be able to have control over it. With USDM, that's not the case. So it's one-to-one, very simple. Simple is better. And at any time, just like the co-founder of USDT said during the Dubai Summit, at any time when you decide to take your dollar and take it out, even if it's depegged, it's still worth the dollar when you go to burn it. It doesn't matter where it's at within the blockchain. You can wait for it to repeg if you want, but ultimately that's something I don't think you need to worry about, because Charlie 3, the Oracle, does daily attestations. They're third party that we have no control over whatsoever. That is done independently of us in order to ensure that everybody knows you can trust us. We're good.